Hello, Creston Middle School. I am Kaylin Jackson, and I attend Western Kentucky University. I was born on the east side, and I've always lived on the east side, and I will forever be a far east sider. I went to Creston Middle School, and I also attended Warden Central High School after that. And I'm going to speak a little bit about my experience through middle school, high school, things that I wish someone would have told me, and then just Black History Month and how important that is. So the first thing I want to start off with is Black History Month, and this is just a time where we get to honor the success and achievements that Black men and women have done in this country. And I think it's a very important month because sometimes these successful things that these men and women do get looked over just because of the color of their skin. And I want you guys to understand, be proud of your skin, be proud of where you come from, and be proud of the letters that you wear across your chest, because nobody can take that away from you. And I am super proud of WKU, and I love it here. So one thing that I also want to speak about is who influenced me a lot to get where I'm at. And I know that some of you had questions, so I'm going to answer those at the end. But one person that influenced me a lot was my mom. She has always been my rock, and she has honestly done so much for me. So don't be embarrassed of your mom or your dad if they put you out there. If you think they're embarrassing you or asking too many questions or trying to get your name out there, this is how you become successful, with the help of others. Now, don't get me wrong, you have to be successful on your own and earn your spot, but let others help you. Trying to get places on your own is hard, especially when you're younger. So when teachers, administrators, and your parents are trying to help you become the successful young adult that you can turn into, don't be embarrassed. Don't, shy away from the situation or tell them not to speak to that person, because they're only trying to set you up for success. And another thing is just stay determined. Whether you're going through a tough situation at home, you're just struggling with grades, maybe in sports, always stay determined. And that's very, very easier said than done, but you just have to, especially in this world, in this time and age. Stay determined. Keep hope within yourself. Write things down, write goals down. And I will talk about that a little bit later too with some of the questions that you asked me. Your guys' questions were great. So just stay positive with yourself. Listen to the administrators around you, and you will define your own success. So you guys asked me the fastest time that I ran. And the fastest time that I ran was a 13.99. And that was in the 100-meter hurdles at state. And I'm going to try to answer a lot of these questions, but there were a lot. What do I do when I get out of breath when I run? I just try to catch my breath. I'm going to be honest with you, running is not easy. It was not easy for me at all. Ask anyone around me. I threw up a lot. I did. Especially if you go to Warren Central. Our track coaches are awesome. Our women's track coach, she will push you. She will push you very hard, but she's a great coach. I have a great relationship with her still. And you just have to try to catch it. That's all I can tell you. There's no secret method to what you do when you get out of breath. I know they say put your hands above your head, but honestly that never worked for me. But if that works for you, then go ahead and do it. And then I also had a question, how can I be more successful? Someone asked me that. Everyone defines success differently. It's whatever success means to you, whether that's accomplishing a goal or just reaching certain marks in your life that you feel successful about. Always celebrate your successes with yourself. Don't ever do something and be like, oh, that wasn't good enough, or compare yourself to somebody else. Especially if we're talking about track, it's always about beating your own time, right? So that's how it has to be in life. Don't look around. Don't look at others. I say I feel bad for you guys in the day and age of social media. When I was in middle school, all I had was a little Pantech slide-up phone. I didn't have all that. And now, all we do is compare ourselves to other people. Don't do that. Always measure yourself by your growth off yourself. So look at the last thing you did. Was it better than the last thing you did? Great. You're successful. Keep pushing yourself. And that's all you can do. You can't compare yourself to other people. So what made me do track? So in college, I'm actually a volleyball player. I play for a D1 volleyball team, Western Kentucky University. I don't run track here, sadly. I was supposed to, but injuries happened, and that's just curveballs that life throws at you and you have to deal with. That's why it's important to keep your grades up, because athletics might not always work out. But what made me do track was actually my mom. Like I said, she always just stuck me out there, put me out on a limb and said, Kaylin, do this, do this. I didn't want to do track at all. I was like, I'm not doing this. But she was like, Kaylin, you're going to do this track lesson. You're going to like it. And sometimes that seems hard, and people will push you to do things that maybe you don't feel comfortable doing. But guess what? I ended up falling in love with it. I loved it. And if my mom never would have put me on that limb, then I never would have ran track, and I never would have known. But sometimes you have to get uncomfortable and just try things that maybe you think that you wouldn't like, because I ended up loving track, and I miss it to this day. And how's college? I love college. It's amazing. Come to Western Kentucky. I will always promote it. I love it here. We have a great family. I love my volleyball team and my coach. I got where I am through prayer, hard work, and my family and support system around me. And I started track in middle school. I did, and I ran on A2. I ran for the Cheetahs. And I have won a race. I won state twice, and I also came runner-up one year. Warren Central is awesome, and I will always rep Dub C. And I'm reading your questions. Track did cause my body to change. Track is unlike other sports. Most sports, you have a ball or have something. You're just running. You are just running. So you're going to build a lot of muscle in track if you run track. It's very different, but it's amazing. And track is a mental game. Track is very, like I said, you're pushing it. You're running against yourself. You're trying to break your own times every time. And it's very mental. And so it can get hard. But that's what I really appreciate about track, is making me as mentally tough as it has, and just maybe be able to get over certain boundaries and certain issues that I couldn't have got over if I didn't have the mentality I had because of track. I'm 5'10" and a half, basically 5'11", so pretty tall. And someone asked me a great question. They said, was this your dream since you were little? Yes. And this is one thing I will tell you. I'm pretty sure when I was in elementary school, I had this little journal. I know exactly where it's at in my room. It's this little Hello Kitty journal. It's kind of cheesy, but I still have the page in the journal. I wrote it down, and I said, I want to go play, I want to be a D1 athlete, and I want to pay nothing for my college. I want to be on a full ride. I remember writing this down when I was younger, and it's still in my book. And that's where I am. So one thing that I would say is write down your goals. I don't care how silly that sounds, or if you think, I can say it in my head, it doesn't matter. Write them down. Write them down and look at them and work towards that goal, because that goal is attainable if you let it be attainable, if you remember it, if you look at it. One thing that my coach here says, Travis Hudson, he says, how can you reach a goal if you don't know what it is? And that's very true. You want to do something, but do you look at it every day? Do you focus on that goal? How are you going to get there if you don't know what the goal is? And then I have won, not including high school, I won a lot of championships in high school in track. In volleyball here, I have won 3 conference championships, and I've attended the NCAA tournament 3 times. And I'm very excited. We are playing right now, and we are ranked top 23 in the nation right now. So our plan is to get to the NCAA tournament again this year. And was it hard to get into WKU? It's hard, but it's not hard. And I want to make sure this comes across correctly, because you have to set yourself up so it's not hard, if that makes sense. So when you're a freshman, get your GPA right. When you are a sophomore, get your GPA right. You have to focus those first couple years, and then you'll take off. Because what happens is people get into this slump their freshman year, and it's really, really hard to get out of, guys. You have to stay focused your freshman year. Get in there, get it done, grind it out. Don't go into high school and play, because then it becomes really hard when it's time to go to college. They look at your GPA, they look at your SAT, ACT scores, and if they're not good, you might lose money. If you were getting a scholarship, they might take some of that money away. So it's really important to stay focused in on schoolwork. And that's another thing that I was speaking about, how I've been injured. I was supposed to run track here at WKU, but I have been injured every single spring. So again, this is why grades are important, because sometimes life doesn't work out the way you want it to. Do I miss and love track? Absolutely. I wanted to do it this year. COVID took it away. But these are little hurdles that you have to get over. And that's one thing I want to say to whatever you believe in that. I am a strong advocate. I am a Christian. I believe in prayer. I believe in my faith. And that is something that has got me through so many challenging times. And if you aren't, just, lean on people who care about you, because that is so important, guys. And life is hard. Life is very hard. It's not getting any easier. And people are judgmental. And, we live in a society, like I said, where we judge each other and we're comparing all the time. You have to stay focused in on positive things and positive people. Bring positive people into your life who are going to build you, not tear you down. So I hope that this can help someone. If you have any questions, I would love to answer any questions. You could email me. I don't know if you guys are allowed to do that, but I will answer any questions. I will talk to you if you need someone to talk to. If you need to get steered in the right direction for anything. I hope you guys have an amazing February and you celebrate Black History Month, and enjoy middle school and enjoy high school even more, because it flies by. Work hard, grind, and never ever give up. Thank you.